Another time too, my uncle, the gophers, there was gophers in all the fields. So he got the boys from the younger boys, and he said that he was paying them, I think it was a nickel or 2 cents a tail or something. But they had to bring the tail and leave the gopher there. See, that went on for a while, and all of a sudden he was out there walking around the street. These freaking gophers, they didn't have no tail.
Oh, yeah, he didn't kill the gopher, he took the tails.
They wanted to produce more gophers.
Yeah. That's funny. What did they do? Just catch them and chop them tail off?
Yeah, they can.
Oh, wow.
Get them.
At least they didn't kill them.
Yeah, they put a snare on it. They had a stick in there. If you stood behind that, see, then the gopher would pop his head up. He puts his head there, they'd catch it.
Yeah.
And you could chop the tail off and you'd turn it loose.
Yeah, because there's a lot of gophers in the prairies.
Oh God, there was a lot of gophers.
You gotta watch your horse doesn't step in one of those holes.
Yeah, and how they'd stand so straight, eh? It's, you know, along the side of the road there.
Yeah, they're
I guess there was a lot of them gophers that they were sorry they stood up.
They probably got a little leery after a while. Cause no wonder, you know, somebody comes along looking at the gophers with no tails, eh? Wondering what the heck happened to them. You know, they could have been born like that.
Yeah, so after that they had to bring their gophers right to the house.
Yeah, well, we used to catch, you know, like muskrats and that in the winter
Yeah,
time.
muskrats.
And beaver and that. I didn't care for beaver tail that much because it was really rich.
Rubbery and rich.
Yeah, but I like muskrat tail. Oh, that was
what
our
about
candy.
the whole
I'll have to
muskrat?
try that.
Yeah, and I like muskrat too because you cook it in the oven. My grandmother.
Because I don't remember eating it, but you said you did.
Well, I trapped them.
Yeah, and I know Phil's youngest brother. I guess they were at home, and all of a sudden they seen the 2 farms over. They were coming to visit, and she had muskrat but she hid that. She brought something else out, and Alphonse, he says, "Where's the rat?" What's some rat?
Just swallowed.
The muskrat tail, because the old cook stoves, right?
Yeah.
You just put it on top there, and then crisp it on one side and the other side, and then just
Is
eat
that
it.
right?
Oh yeah, that was our candy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was great. And then rabbit stew and that. I got to a point I ate so many ducks and so many duck eggs. I couldn't eat eggs for 2 years. Because we're surrounded by slough, eh? And there were so many ducks. And before they could fly, me and my dog would go out and he'd catch them.
Yeah.
And one time my brothers were crossing the slough and the warden come along, eh? He let us hunt all year round because he knew we needed to hunt to eat, eh?
Yeah.
And there was me, and then there was my brother Adam, and then my brother Jimmy, and then my brother Frank, and the only thing holding up Frank was the ducks wrapped around his middle, eh? The warden said he laughed so hard he never saw anything so funny, eh? Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah, no. Well, you did what you had to.
Yeah.
And then my grandmother didn't like it. I used to make these rafts, eh? Because I was only about 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Eh? And she'd go over there and chop them up, right? And while she's doing that, I'd come out about 50 feet away with another raft, eh?
Yeah, okay.
She finally gave up, eh? And because I'd raft across, and then the lake was only about a quarter mile, and then there was a big dike, and they used to hunt jackfish with a bow and arrow, and you got to shoot about 4 inches below the water, right? And I'd have a string tied onto it. Yeah. And I got 25 one day and then 26 the next day, and put them in a gunny sack, and they were so heavy I had to drag them across and load them
Mom
on.
snared jackfish.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she used to snare because I don't know. Dad had a gun and it was.
They're kind of bony.
Oh, so good though. They got lots of bones, but they're so good. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was some big ones. There was a jackfish that attacked somebody here a couple of weeks ago in I think northern Manitoba, a big jackfish.
Okay.
Because they're actually pretty mean.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that was we ate a lot of jackfish. Right, like I said, we were at a lake, so a big lake, and between jackfish and hunting.
Yeah.
That's what we lived off.
We had whitefish too from Lesser Slave Lake, and
Okay,
they were
yeah.
bony too, but they were good because
Yeah.
my grandmother used to stuff them with onion, carrots, and potatoes.
Okay. Yeah.
But that was kind of a luxury. But,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it was.
You know, we're talking about those duck eggs. We used to we found one by the lake or by a slough or something. As long as you left one egg in there, that duck would, you know, would keep laying and laying.
Yeah.
But this one time, my uncle, he went with a little pail and he come back with a bunch of eggs. He was coming home. And they went by on the top of him. He didn't think nothing of that, eh? So he had to go to court. They had a picture of him with the little pail that was full of eggs. He tells the cops that I was taking them from that lake to bring them over to the other lake because he said forget what they called those little black, but they were fighting. Eh?
Or the black.
He says I was taking the eggs because they're these black ducks there. They were fighting the bigger ones.
Well,
the cop said, "Oh yeah," she said. You want me to believe that, eh?
You weren't supposed to pick the duck eggs?
No.
Oh,
that Uncle Albert, he lived right off of the land.
Yeah.
You know, just.
Well, you know something, you kind of had no choice because,
Yeah.
you know, like.
Everybody was like that.
Well, yeah, because you didn't have too much. I remember, I think that.
We
during
were
the
rich.
Yeah. Well, during the
Good
30s,
food.
they used to steal from my grandfather's traps, eh?
Oh.
And he says, you know something? He said, don't steal from my traps. He said, ask me. You know,
Yeah.
I'll help you, but
Yeah.
don't steal from the traps.
Yeah.
Eh? The hungry 30s, like.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, like, people, I guess, you know, people do anything to eat.
Yeah. I remember going to school. This was in Chivitu, and this one girl. They had a nice house right by the lake. They had a better life, and so we're getting ready for our lunch at school, and all of a sudden she takes hers out, and she had a little jar of I don't know if it was pears. I think it was pears, canned pears, and she had white bread from the store with bologna in it. And I remember looking at that and saying, "Oh my God, you're so rich."
You know what I used to do? Like the French farmers, they love bologna, eh?
Yeah.
And that's all we fucking had for lunch and that, right?
Yeah.
And so I'd trade my bologna sandwiches for their chicken sandwiches or their peanut butter and honey and all that. And
Yeah.
I said, okay. I said, I got a bologna sandwich here.
Yeah.
And yeah, because that's all kind of, and
Yeah.
porridge. Lived off of porridge like every morning.
Every
Still eat it every morning.
We still have it. We eat it quite a
Yeah.
bit too.
I just bought
Sometimes
a big
it's
box.
raisins.
Yeah.
Phil,
But,
Phil
you
usually
know.
cooks the
That's
porridge.
with this COVID thing, that's the first thing I went and grabbed.
Oh,
Porridge?
I know.
Porridge, fried bags
I
of
bought a
porridge.
big box of porridge. Eh?
Yeah.
I haven't opened it yet, but yeah, no, because I was going to take it hunting, and you know,
Yeah.
when we were camping out in the bush and that, but yeah, it just didn't materialize. I was going to go to Chetwynd because I didn't know I was going to run for Region 2, and then
Yeah.
also because it was kind of a last minute thing, and
Yeah.
as I talked to Yogi and I said, "Oh, you're going to run for Region 2?" He said, "No, I'm running for Vice President."
Yeah.
I said, "Well, I'll throw my name in for Region 2," and that was kind of the last
Right
minute.
on.
Who's he running against?